Did you just hear that announcement then?
No.
Bit contentious, we spoke about this before. Road crash on the mountains, there's another delay.
Oh, brilliant.
I know you've got an opinion on this, though, haven't you?
Yeah. I bet it was a German going the wrong way.
As long as it's not at the 33rd, because then I can criticise. If it's at the 33rd, I can't say a thing, can I?
I've seen you commenting on Facebook on a few things, haven't you? You've said about like that they should close the mountain.
Yeah, I do. I think during the Manx and the TT, I think on like the morning of whatever race it is, I think they should shut the road.
2 hours max, minimum. 2 hours.
I understand they close the roads, you know, they've got to leave them open for people because there's people live here until like half an hour before the session starts. That makes sense. But I think the mountain, they should close it earlier because there's other ways to get around, and that's the bit where it always ends up getting closed for accidents, doesn't it?
Obviously, every respects the person that's crashed. I hope they're all right. Like,
but people come up because they want to enjoy themselves, don't they? And they want to go and have a go on the world famous mountain and what have you, and they get it. It's so easy to get it wrong.
Maybe an advisory to the powers that be to
don't do what I did.
Yeah.
Do as I say, not as I do.
That's right, not in the car.
It was wet. Leave me alone.
So we're just filling the gap in from the RTC. The first session's actually just gone out. Do you want to talk us through the R6 and the fuel?
Yeah. So did the practice session last night. Did 2 consecutive laps on one tank to see if it would do 2 full laps on one tank, because there was always a question mark over that for it on the standard tank. It does, it just about makes it. When I went out of the twin and Neil took the tank cap off and had a look inside, had a shake, it was silence. There's nothing left in it, but it does manage 2 laps on one tank.
We had a few mixed reviews on, didn't we? A few people said you will last on a standard, a few said you don't. We were speaking to Joe Yeardsley, and he last year's Manx Grand Prix winner, he reckoned that we wouldn't do, and he was nearly right. We're very close.
He had a bigger tank on his, and so did Marcus. So I'd say they both had bigger tanks on theirs. We're on the standard tank. We cut the filler neck out, which I spoke to a few people who've done that, and they've said they've been alright, they've no problem. But others have said it doesn't work. So I think it probably depends on how you're riding it, how the bike's mapped. You know, if you've got one that's fractionally rich, you probably use a little bit more fuel than others, or. So I don't know, or just to try it and see what it does, so we know for definite does this or does it not, and it did it.
So how many litres did it use a lap then?
I think it's 19 litres, so roughly 9.5 litres per lap.
9.5, 10, call it 10.
Yeah, roughly 10 litres a lap in it realistically. Just under, I'd say 9.5.
So putting figures on that, then that's £1.50 a litre, something like that, is it? You'd go for
about that.
15 quid?
Yeah, it's about 15 quid a lap for fuel. For fuel, and then your tyres and everything else. So yeah,
Talking about that, we've got a little sponsorship opportunity, haven't we, for the fuel?
Yeah, if anybody wants to chip in with something like that, I say I've got sponsors available now with all sorts, otherwise I wouldn't be here because I can't afford to do this on my wage. Yeah, if anybody wants to chip in, if they want to, I'd say it's 15 quid a lap, and if someone wants to sponsor a lap, stick the name on across the top of the fuel tank. With both bikes, I've got space on top of the fuel tank. I've got my stick and printer here. Yeah, if anyone wants to, there's an option there for.
We could even put the speed of that lap next to their name as well, so we could have a little competition.
You can sit and figure out which one of them they are.
Yeah, we can do that.
I've genuinely not even looked at any of the timing whilst I've been in. I've tried, and I can't get it to work, and I ain't got the time to look, so I just left it.
We could then have a little competition for a free RGM t-shirt as well. Whoever gets the fastest lap.
Don't give me t-shirts. I've not got enough t-shirts left as it is. Yeah, so there's an option there if anyone wants to.
So a few other questions that we've had. Tyre wear.
Yeah.
What's that like in comparison to circuit racing?
It's nowhere near as hard on tyres as circuit racing is. But I think that's very much because through the corners and the braking and accelerating, it's all done a lot harder on a circuit than it is on the road. The road, it's a lot faster, but it's consecutive speed. You're not, or I'm certainly not, trailing the brake really hard right to the apex and then snapping the throttle open, standing it open, sliding or spinning. There's none of that. The bike's only ever out of line because it's gone over a bump and it's in the air and it's bouncing around. Other than that, it's arrow straight. So I'm not trailing it on the brakes. I'm getting all the braking done early, roll through the corner, get it through the corner, and then just fire the throttle. So it's not wearing tyres too hard.
So it's a shame we can't actually show the bike, isn't it? Because
yeah, they're both
we've done about 3 or 4 laps on that brand new tyre, and there's still a little bit which hasn't even been touched yet, isn't there?
Yeah, the very edge hasn't been touched. Like I say, it was on a circuit, that'd be all snotty and knobbly by now, wouldn't it? But I say, because you're practically dragging your elbow on the floor, aren't you? Whereas you're not round here. Anyone that is just forcing it.
So, in terms of speeds then, what sort of speeds are we getting up to down Sulby?
Well, shouldn't look, but I looked and the speedo still works on your bike. it's an 165, and I think someone, I can't remember, someone told me that through the speed track figures, so that are on the Manx Grand Prix, you know, the timings, it was 162, 163 or something like that. It was showing up as, so it's there or thereabouts. And there's one of them signs that tell you how fast you're going if it's a smiley face or sad face. That's at Crosby on the way back. And when we came back the wrong way the other night, I went through it at 63 miles an hour, and it said 63 on there, so it's pretty accurate. Obviously, if you change the gearing, it changes the speedo on the R6. So we're running slightly longer than road gearing, 1644, which is 1/2 longer than standard, and a slightly bigger rear tyre. But yeah, it worked out pretty much accurate. So
that was another question. So we've only just added 1 tooth, haven't we?
One tooth more than standard. And I only went off some Milky's suggestion on that was if it's a standard bike, standard engine, they just go 1 tooth longer than standard. It's pretty.
So for a stock bike, 162 is pretty good for 600, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. Like I say, we went on Kringle's Dyno and it made 122 braking. It was strong for a stocker, which is so it's good. That's I'm happy with that. But I say I'm not chasing figures, but it's just nice to see what's what. So I'm going to change the gearing a little bit. We've had some slight suspension changes this morning. That's after speaking to Richard. We've altered the steering damper bracket slightly because we think the bracket was flexing a bit, which will stop the damper from doing its job. So I stiffen that up a bit. Just ready to go now. See what happens in roughly an hour's time.
So Richard came before. Maxton suspension, isn't he? Richard, what's his surname? Do you know?
I do, but mine's gone blank. I can put me in the spot.
Based in Cheshire, near Alton Park, he said.
I'm not going to sleep now, so I think of his surname now. It's going to do my head in. He owns Maxton. Yeah, he knows his stuff. He helped us last year in BSP. I said, you've not got Maxton in yours. I've got Maxton in mine, but you've not got Maxton in yours. But he come and give us a bit of advice. That's supposed to be a secret. Yeah, he come and give us a bit of advice, just to help us, make some changes to make the bike a bit more usable. It worked. It was nice. It was a little bit nicer. I think I'm going to leave it as is now. I'm happy enough with it. Just keep riding around, keep enjoying it. So yeah, it was nice to get a bit of help from someone that knows, because when it comes to roads, I ain't got a clue.
So what was he actually doing? What did he come and look at?
He got us to measure the sag yesterday, so I measured the sag. He wanted them figures. They're on the whiteboard somewhere, wherever the whiteboard's gone.
I was looking for it.
He came and he had what he called a classic feel, just had a bit of a feel of what the bike was like, what the suspension was like, to see if it felt soft or it felt firm, so he felt a bit. He counted how many clicks it was where in the clickers for the rebound and compression adjusters on both the front and rear. And he ended up softening the rear off a bit and stiffened the front up a little bit. And yeah, it was alright, it was happy enough. We spotted the steering damper was a bit rubbish, so to speak. It wasn't mounted very firmly. Yeah, so the mount moved.
This bracket down here, wasn't it?
It was moving side to side slightly, so we took the tank bracket adapter thing off it, so that the steering damper is just bolted straight to the frame. So it's just a bit firm. It just stops it from the bracket from moving around so much to make the damper take more of the steering force as such.
Yesterday you mentioned it wiggling around the head quite a lot.
Yeah.
Did it solve it?
I wouldn't say solve, but it improved it.
Right.
Improved it, so I'm happy enough.
That'll probably be a combination of both steering damper and the forks and the put a bit more sag in the rear as well.
Weird enough, I could notice the rear was nice actually, especially through the really bumpy sections. When you're on full throttle and it's sat down on the rear, it did soak it up a bit better. It wasn't bouncing me out of the seat quite so much, so it was definitely nicer. I mean, like I say, speeding up the compression damping on it. Yeah, well, I'm happy enough with it. Yeah, so just go with what we got now. Nutritious tea. Friday, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We're Friday night.
Yeah.
Last session got cancelled because a bit of rain came literally as we were about to go out.
Yeah, I was only going out to scrub some tyres in Norway, so I went out in the afternoon. Was as happy as I can be. I don't want to put loads of laps on the twin because I know they're a bit fragile. And, certainly no engine changing from now going forward. I know Nick Ledell blew up in that session. He's changing engines tonight, so we're going to be going straight to the race on an engine that he won't have done anything on. So yeah, I've done the laps I was happy with. Put some tyres in to scrub them in. That's it. got rained off. It was raining on the other side of the course, and obviously they won't send us out if they know it's going to be dangerous. So again, same as I said earlier, it is what it is. It's the same for everybody. So we'll go out tomorrow straight into the race.
Right.